Guys, after Yamoshi asks the angel Whis to change his clothes to look like Goku, the battle between them will begin, but Beerus will also have his battle against the goddess of the Saiyans, who will win. You will see all this now, but before you start, leave your like. Let's reach the goal of 1,000 likes, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos like this. Have you already done this? So let's start. The battle between Yamoshi Girl against Goku, Broly, and Vegeta was about to begin. But before that, for the safety of planet Earth, Whis hit his staff on the ground, making all the Saiyans disappear from that place and reappear in the dimension that was inside Whis' stick. And as everyone wanted to see the combat, Whis generated some holographic screens so that everyone could see that battle. Yamoshi said, "So come and show me the power of the last generation of pure Saiyans and don't disappoint me," said Yamoshi while looking at the trio of Saiyans who faced each other for a few brief seconds and waved at each other. Soon, two large blue auras appeared. This attracted the interest of Yamoshi, who realized that these auras were similar to the power of the Super Saiyan god she knew, and it wasn't long before Goku and Vegeta appeared in front of her with their fists armed and aimed at her face. But Yamoshi dodged it by ducking, and soon after she ended up taking a jump, dodging a punch from Broly that appeared suddenly. The Yamoshi woman, now more excited, began to take that battle a little more seriously and began to land a blow on Broly, but the punch was so strong that the legendary Saiyan Broly fainted after she did so. Yamoshi went towards Vegeta with a sequence of consecutive blows to vital points on his body, but reducing the force only to hurt him and not to kill him. Vegeta, feeling the pain of the blows, ended up using his final flash at close range on Yamoshi, who disappeared and reappeared behind Vegeta, hitting him with a kick from top to bottom, making Vegeta hit the ground, and then he ended up being hit by a rain of ki spheres that ended up making the Prince of Saiyans faint because of the pain. Yamoshi instinctively dodged a kick made by Goku, who was now using Ultra Instinct, which left Yamoshi very surprised and curious to know what form Goku was using to turn his hair white. This transformation made Yamoshi remember something. Goku, taking advantage of his speed and agility that had been improved by Ultra Instinct, rushed towards Yamoshi and began to attack the goddess of Saiyans, who was easily able to defend herself from Goku's externally fast blows. But the moment Yamoshi began counter-attacking, she saw that Goku was able to dodge her blows, which surprised Yamoshi and made her understand a little about the technique, because Goku had been surprised when he started to dodge, showing that he wasn't doing it of his own free will, but rather his body, who was dodging those blows. Goku, seeing an opening in Yamoshi's attacks, the Saiyajin managed to repel one of them and concentrated his energy in his fist and hit Yamoshi, finally generating a large shockwave. But Goku realized that his blow had been defended by Yamoshi, who held Goku's fist while a yellow aura surrounded his hand, and when he raised his face, Yamoshi smiled and released his energy, transforming into a Super Saiyan to the shock of Goku, who didn't even have time to react when thousands of punches ended up hitting him like meteors. And when Yamoshi finally stopped, it was when she realized that Goku had already fainted, and with that, he returned to his base form and fell to the ground without the strength to continue fighting. Beerus said, "So this is the power level of Yamoshi, the first goddess of the Saiyans." I have to say that it was surprising to see this demonstration of power, and I'm really excited to be able to face this woman and see how strong she really is. After all, Yamoshi only demonstrated a little of his strength using the Super Saiyan transformation, but she hasn't shown her full power yet, as she hasn't transformed into a Super Saiyan god yet, and I really want to see how strong she really is when she's using her full power. Beerus said, getting up and leaving everyone surprised to see that there was an aura of destruction around Beerus, an aura created by his desire to face Yamoshi. Beerus wanted to use his full power against someone who could withstand a real battle against him. Whis spoke, "I have to say that I'm really surprised to see that Yamoshi was this strong. I didn't remember seeing such a great display of power among mortals millennia ago, but perhaps Yamoshi used something to hide his powers of divine beings in the past." Whis said, looking at the holographic screen, a little surprised by Yamoshi's demonstration of power, who was looking straight ahead as if he were facing a camera. Beerus said, "Whis, the battle between them is over, so remove those three idiotic Saiyans quickly, because now it's my turn to face this woman and see if that prophetic dream of mine was really right, and Yamoshi will be the woman capable of defeating me." Beerus said, intensifying his aura, making cracks on the floor of the entire Capsule Corporation. Bulma thought, and here I go again spending money on reforms at the Capsule Corporation, because someone can't control the will to fight and is causing cracks throughout the Capsule Capsule Corporation just by releasing their aura. Bulma thought, looking at the Capsule Corporation and seeing several cracks appearing. This made Bulma sigh, already thinking about the cost she would incur in fixing that. Whis said, "I will do it immediately, Sir Beerus," said Whis before hitting his staff on the ground, and suddenly Goku, Vegeta and Broly appeared unconscious and badly injured, and it didn't take long for Beerus to disappear from that place and reappear within the dimension where Yamoshi was. Yamoshi said, "Apparently you were really eager to face me. You didn't even wait for my battle against those Saiyans to end, and you already took them out of that dimension and came to face me. Well, at least this way it doesn't waste so much of my time. And that battle really didn't tire me out at all, so I don't need to rest," said Yamoshi in a proud tone while looking at Beerus, who was emanating the energy of destruction. Yamoshi was still transformed into his Super Saiyan form and had his golden yellow aura around his body. Beerus and Yamoshi stared at each other for a few brief seconds, then the two disappeared and reappeared in front of each other, exchanging their first blow, which was so powerful that it generated a gigantic shockwave. This wave generated thousands of cracks in the ground in that dimension, which began to rebuild itself. The two warriors began exchanging blows at an extreme speed that seemed as if the two were standing still and facing each other. But with each blow they exchanged, they collided and generated more cracks, which made the process of rebuilding the dimension difficult, something that left Whis very surprised. The two warriors ended up generating a large wave of impact, and with that Beerus and Yamoshi separated. Beerus released more of his energy, generating a great aura of destruction that suddenly disappeared, and when Yamoshi noticed, Beerus was already in front of him, hitting the goddess of the Saiyans with a well-aimed kick that ended up throwing her away. But the woman quickly managed to recover and place her hands on the ground, turning her body and standing up. Yamoshi looked at her cheek where a little smoke was coming out. Yamoshi had received the blow in that place, and with that, the woman ended up smiling and putting herself in a combat stance. Yamoshi took a deep breath and advanced towards Beerus, who did the same thing, and when the two were close, Beerus tried to throw a punch at Yamoshi, who managed to easily dodge the destroyer's blow. Yamoshi hit Beerus's chin, making him remove his feet from the ground, and then Beerus received a punch to his abdomen that threw him away. But using his tail, he managed to balance himself in the air, and the moment he put his feet on the ground, Beerus advanced towards Yamoshi, and the two began a close combat, where most of their blows collided, and some ended up hitting each other. But the blows that Beerus landed barely affected Yamoshi, while Yamoshi's blows affected Beerus a lot, leaving the god of destruction badly hurt. Seeing his injuries, Beerus moved away and raised his power even further, and decided to use his full power, and in doing so, he ended up assuming his full form of the god of destruction, looking very similar to the form that Toppo used during the Tournament of Power. With his full power, Beerus quickly appeared in front of Yamoshi, hitting the Saiyan goddess with an extremely powerful punch that sent her flying at high speed, and when she was still in the air, Yamoshi managed to balance himself and realized that his nose was bleeding, as did her mouth, something that made her very excited. Yamoshi said, "I think it's time for me to go all out," Yamoshi said to himself as he relaxed his muscles and returned to his base form. Beerus was curious about what Yamoshi was going to do at that moment. A divine aura of white color began to emanate from Yamoshi's body, and his hair turned white and began to grow at high speed, and soon a large pillar of white energy appeared in place, and Beerus was forced to create an energy barrier of destruction to protect himself from that divine energy, and soon it was possible to see Yamoshi floating, and his hair was now very long and completely white, and they emanated a large amount of divine energy. Upon feeling all that divine energy, Beerus rushed towards Yamoshi, arming his fist and attacking Yamoshi, who just held his fist as if it were no big deal, which greatly surprised the god of destruction, who separated himself and began attacking Yamoshi in extreme speed, generating several waves of impact with the god of destruction's blows that only hit Yamoshi's fists, who easily held the blows. When Beerus tried to move away from the woman, Yamoshi held his leg by the tail, and before Beerus could react, Yamoshi began to attack him at high speed, landing a sequence of blows that Beerus was not able to defend himself from, and when he defended himself, he felt his arms breaking because of those blows, and with each blow that Beerus received, he felt his energy being drained. Beerus, using his last strength, generated a large explosion of energy at close range at Yamoshi, which made them separate, and by the time Beerus managed to recover and look at Yamoshi, he saw that his attack was useless because Yamoshi's long hair protected her. Her clothes had been destroyed, but luckily her hair was covering her body enough to not reveal anything. Tired of that fight, which was kind of fun, Yamoshi ended up generating a sphere of ki and aimed it at Beerus, who generated a barrier around himself, but several currents of energy surrounded Beerus Beerus and trapped him, destroying that barrier. And with that, Yamoshi fired his attack in the direction of Beerus. But before the attack could eliminate Beerus, Whis appeared in front of his master and redirected the attack away, generating a gigantic explosion that approached them. But before reaching one of them, they all ended up disappearing and reappearing in the Capsule Corporation. Whis spoke, "This battle is over. There is no need to continue this. Yamoshi, you are clearly stronger than Mr. Beerus, so you are the winner of this fight and you are the strongest in the 7th universe," said Whis, looking at Yamoshi, who smiled in an arrogant way while looking at Beerus, who was very angry at the moment, but wasn't able to do anything at that moment.
With that, we come to the end of today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on this video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you on another day, guys.